Hey, it's Johnny again. I got another spiritual story for you from my childhood. Um, this one is from my brother's point of view. His name is Nick. He can confirm this story because it is his story. I was there, but I was not awake. But I'll say it anyways. Um, so one night, him and I, when we were kids, we shared a room. We had bunk beds. At this time, I was on the bottom and he was on the top. And one night, he was laying in bed and he couldn't sleep. So he was just laying there. And then I don't know if you guys know what that fear feeling is. You know, when you get that just sudden fear, just like kind of settles on you. You know, like just super fearful, just out of nowhere. Well, he had that, and then he actually heard his voice, or not his voice, no, sorry, his name being called in whispers, like Nicholas, 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 and I mean, it would freak anyone out, right? So obviously he was scared. Um, but I was sleeping on the bottom bunk at the time. But as he heard this and everything, he kind of shut his eyes and everything. And then we back then in our house, me and Nick, we had bicycles. Our family had bikes, and we kept them in our room. So we had like I don't know, like the whole family had bikes. I think there was like at least four or five in there, at least three. I forget how many, but we had a bunch of bikes in there, and we kept them in our room because we don't even get stolen. Because it's happened before, where people in the neighborhood come and steal our bikes that are outside. So we kept them in our room, and then short after or shortly after he heard his name being whispered, the pedals on the bike just started spinning like all of them at the same time, just like start spinning and making it really loud. Um, and he sat up in his bed, looked at him. Yep, sure enough, the pedals of the bike were spinning, and and that freaked him out. Of course, it would me too. I'd probably die from a heart attack if I were to see that. So thank God I was asleep. But so yeah, that happened, and then he got scared. He tried to wake me up. He said he called my name several times, like really loudly, trying to wake me up because he was scared. And granted, my brother's like 5 years older than I am. So, but anyways, he was scared. So he went under his blankets. He pulled the blankets over his head, and then, from what he told me, he said threw the blankets, even though he had a blanket over his head. He could see faces coming through the walls from like all corners of the room, like just like faces, like evil demonic faces just coming through the walls, like, and they were just heads. They weren't like they weren't like full body, just heads, and they're coming through the walls, like kind of towards him, kind of like taunting him, and he was very scared, very scared. And then he said all of a sudden he had this he got bold, and he got this like strength inside of him that like was bold enough to come out of his blanket, and he told them, in the name of Jesus, leave. And then as he did that, he saw these faces of these heads of these demonic evil looking things, whatever they were. He saw all their faces turn to like horror, like they were scared, and they like turned around and right back through the wall, and they left, and they were gone. So, I mean, it's pretty short story. But if you ask my brother, it is very true. You can ask. He probably has more additional details than I do. And that's what I remember from what he told me. And he even told me that I can post it on YouTube on his behalf because what I said about it before is true. But if you ask him, he'll probably have more to the story to add to it. But honestly, that's terrifying enough. And thank God I did not wake up when he was calling my name because the Lord knows I would have freaked out. That was not my time. I had my own issues, different situations. That one was not for me. Thank goodness. Anyways, that's the end of this story. Peace.